Thanks for clicking on my Stupid Tumor story. I'm making this video today about my experience having an acoustic neuroma, also known as a vestibular schwannoma. I apologize for the amount of things I am going to pronounce wrong in this video. They will be many. What is an acoustic neuroma? It is a tumor that is non-cancerous. Generally, it is slow growing, and it grows on the nerve to your inner ear for no reason at all. Good times. From the research I did, it seems like around 2 to 3,000 people per year get this particular tumor. Yeah, so why I'm making this video is it's been a long journey. A lot of things are hard to explain, hard to keep track of. So number one, here I'm kind of documenting a timeline for me as well. But more importantly, in the beginning, when I got the news that I had a tumor in my head, YouTube videos were really helpful to me. I mean, I started, of course, researching online, reading doctors' papers and such, but I wanted to see actual people that went through it. And they really helped me in the beginning. But as I got about close to like 7 months to a year out from my operation, and a lot of things by me weren't quite healing, I was getting upset because it seemed to me like every damn video, it seemed like everybody was doing better than me quicker. It seemed like every video I came across, they were great after a year. I remember finding one on an actor I had never heard of. Sorry, Mark Ruffalo. But I got excited when I found his video talking about him having this. It sounded like he had exactly what I had, like same size, same location. And he looked great. Yeah, but as you see, I'm not doing so great. But I'm all right with it. I'm all right with all this. I'm working on me, and I'm lucky enough to live in a system where I can work on me. So let's start at the beginning, how it all began by me. So it began by me, I believe it was like a Saturday. I had to go to work. I work in sales, and I woke up, and as I got out of bed, I thought to myself, whoa, I didn't think I drank that much beer last night. I felt hungover, or even worse, I felt still a little drunk. Come on, we've all been there. Don't tell me you haven't. But it didn't make sense because I admitted I had some beer the night before, but I had like 2, max 3 on Skype with my friend, as I do every Friday. We just sit on Skype and we talk, my best friend in America. But yet, nonetheless, I went to work, as I do. And on my way into work, I remember looking at my feet and thinking they're not doing what I want them to do. It wasn't super dramatic, but it was like every about 3 steps I was, rather than staying straight, kind of going off. But anyway, I just kept going on. I went to work. I actually like doing my job. I like working in sales. I like tending to people, and I happen to have a job where I have awesome customers, so I have a lot of fun with them. But eventually I did have to call it a day and go home when a customer said something to me from behind, and I just wanted to turn around real quick and respond to them, and I completely fell. I fell because my whole world went like this. So this led to me going to a doctor. I got diagnosed with having vertigo. And that led to me getting an MRI. At the MRI, they could see that I had a tumor back here, about this big, and it was like crushing the organ that controls balance, and it was starting to touch on my cerebellum. And so they said, this is serious, we're going to operate, and gave me an appointment for an operation within 3 months. They gave me an appointment to go to it's a place called Klinikum Bielefeld. The doctor was Dr. Sudhoff. Shout out, he was amazing, he was awesome. It's kind of tough hearing you got a tumor in your head starting to press on a part of your brain, and you can feel you're losing control of some things. It's scary as hell. And this guy was able to explain everything to me in perfect, plain English. He was so professional, so nice. Something more doctors, honestly, should be. More on that later. I've had some great experiences, but I've also met some people that just, wow, should not be working with people. But anyway, in Clinic Bielefeld, they took pretty damn good care of me. It was a very modern facility. Yeah, they seemed to really have access to everything I needed, and they seemed to give me everything I needed. But back to so how it began. So I've got this appointment then. They warned me at this point that a lot of side effects that could come, probably would come. They said, very good chance you'll lose your hearing in that ear. They said there's a chance that your face may be hanging. There's a chance that could come back. There's a chance it won't come back. There's a chance only part of these things will come back. There was a chance of a lot of things. I was ready for them. I can deal with them. Never been anybody that was really concerned cosmetically, so it was a little shocking to see what was going on with my face, but after my operation, it was much worse than it is right now, if you can believe it. But I can laugh about this because the fact is I don't have a tumor crushing my brain and I'm not dead, so that's great. Yeah, so the operation itself, by me, it took about 6 hours. I remember waking up and seeing my doctor. I was still a little under the narcotics, but he was there. He was above my bed, and he said to me, Frau Armstrong, he thought he preserved my hearing at this point. Now, remember, I'm laying there, and I've got a big old patch on my head, and I'm out of it after 6 hours unconscious in operation of them cracking in my damn skull. But I remember he's there like an angel above me telling me he thought he preserved my hearing. And he said to me that the tumor was a lot bigger than they thought. And I looked at him and I said, do you think it was longer than 3 years? I remember them telling me that it was pretty big, and they thought they had to approximate. They thought it was in there for like 3 years. And I remember his shocked face and looking at me and going, it seems like it was more for like 10 years in your head. And it had built itself, this bastard tumor that, by the way, we did name Godfrey Pomeroy. Thank you, Patrick. This tumor had built itself around all of the nerves that lead to my face here. So he had to, damage all of them in order to get the tumor out. But the good news is the tumor was completely removed. But all of this was damaged. And as I came out of the hospital, this was really hanging. Like, I remember thinking, like, oh my God, I look like a grandma. I had, like, the actual, hanging here, and this was hanging more. And I couldn't move this half of my mouth at all right after the operation. This eye, I couldn't move at all, and it was really hanging bad. I mean, I looked like I had a stroke, and a lot of people seem to think I had a stroke, which is kind of funny because I kept thinking, aren't they going to be feeling stupid when it comes back? It still hasn't come back. Anyway, so yeah, right after that operation, what I can tell you is I felt like I was hit by a truck. So for like 2 or 3 days right after that operation, I was completely just out of touch with reality. I was not really there. The worst part was for I think the first 2 or 3 days when I woke up in the morning, I woke up with the worst migraine I have ever experienced in my life, combined with horrible dizziness and the feeling that I was going to vomit. 3 days, 4 days maybe, in a row, that bad immediately when you open my eyes in the morning, when you got to get out of bed to take a pee. Yeah, good times. Yeah, so that happened, and they would immediately put me on an IV. They gave me some wonderful meds that totally helped put me to sleep, took away the pain. Luckily, that seemed to stop then within the first week. I believe I was in the hospital for about 11 days. It was after after all the migraine days, I think so. Think like 4 or 5 days, something like that. I remember I'm sitting there and trying to watch the hospital TV. I've got my room, little flat screen TV in my room, and I've got that little controller thing that you're supposed to put to your ear so you can listen to it, so you don't bother the person you're sharing the room with or whatever. And I remember putting it to this ear and then playing with the volume button and putting it there again. Yeah, and then I put it to this ear, and then I put it to this ear, and then I put it to this ear, and I went, oh, fuck, I'm not hearing nothing. I'm not hearing nothing here. And, here's where we start getting into doctors becoming like robots and losing all sense of emotion. So I'm kind of trying to deal with, I remembered the doctor telling me he thought I preserved my hearing. And I think I'm deaf in this ear. Did I mention I love music? So that kind of fucked me. I thought, what does this mean? kind of fucked me, and I had to wait because my doctor that did my operation, he was on vacation, but other doctors were coming around making the rounds, checking on me, and the next doctor that walked in my room with a bunch of students from the college or university or whatever, I said to him, I said, excuse me, I said, I think I'm not hearing anything in this ear, nothing, and he looked at me and he said, And I said, well, wait, I remember the doctor telling me he thought he preserved it. Do you think, is there a chance it'll come back? Like, is this temporary? And he just looked at me and he said, no, I'm very skeptical that it'll come back. And pretty much blah, blah to the students and walked out. And I just kind of sat there with this little bit of life-changing information, trying to figure out what it meant. Yeah, but I fought through it, man. I'm telling you, I was like on the 12th floor. I remember taking my IV, not being able to see straight, not just because I'm off balance, but also this eye's like shut. I'm drooling, but I wanted to get outside and smoke a cigarette, and I fucking did it. I remember like getting into that elevator. Taking the elevator was scary as hell. Getting out of the elevator finally on the bottom floor. And having to take a break because I was dizzy and not seeing straight. And I had an IV. Okay, that's a whole nother story. Back to the whole point of this. So yeah, I was in hospital about 11 days. Got back home, and I have a hard time just sitting at home and not doing anything and being still. And I really wanted to get back to work, and I'm not going to lie. I work in sales for more than 20-some years. I understand business. I was a little scared I might lose my job. I wanted to get back in my shop and make sure it was doing good. So looking back now, I have to say I went back way too early. Let's see, the operation was the end of August. I'm pretty sure I was back to working by October. Mind you, this is with... yeah, death in this ear, which means like it's a whole new perspective to deal with when you're out in public. And when you hear something, you can't tell where it's coming from. It all kinds of blends. But that not as bad as feeling like I'm on a boat constantly. But I kept telling myself, this is going to get better. I'm seeing all these videos. These people are better. In a year, I'll be better. I can't just sit at home. They all said the best rehabilitation I could do to get my balance back in order was to train it. And by training it, you walk. So I was walking like a mofo. I mean, walking fast, you getting the sway going, retraining. Yeah, so a year and a half later, I still feel like I'm on a boat, but I'm getting some help. At this point, I have an appointment in May at a clinic in Aachen, Germany that specializes in people with balance issues. Apparently, they have a guy there. I've stalked him online, and he seems like he knows a lot. He's a professor, but again, specializing in like the operation I went through, all of the things I went through, but most importantly, my balance issues. I'm damn hopeful that once they can nail down and they can say exactly what it is the balance organ that is effed up, or there is just something that is scarred, or once they know what it is, then we'll make a plan to fix it. If it's fixable. There's a good chance that some of this isn't fixable, but as of right now, at my last appointment, it's the same as always. No doctor will give me a definite. Yes, it'll get fixed. No, it won't get fixed. Except with the hearing. They've given up. That's not coming back. Picking up hearing aids, though, on Friday. It's just a microphone that'll transfer the noise to here. So, yeah, it's just a waiting game. Which is annoying if you have no patience like me. I don't have a lot of patience. So what I'm going through at this point right now is I'm back off of work. I felt like I was kind of unsafe in there. I'm really off balance. If I'm still, I'm kind of okay, but the second I'm moving, I'm feeling like this. The whole world is feeling like this. And when your all day is like that, when your entire day is like that, that results in you feel nauseous. Just like if you were constantly on a boat, eventually you'd be kind of like, I want off. And I'm noticing like my thighs, strong as hell, but muscle pains because it's just a little bit, but it's constant that my body is trying to catch me and try to put it back. I'm no spring chicken. I mean, I'm not super young. I'm in my young 40s, but I'm pretty damn fit. And I kept thinking this will get better. This will get better. But I'm to a point right now where I'm exhausted, and I'm putting my hands in. I'm putting my health in the hands of the German healthcare system. So far, it's been pretty good to me, and I have a lot of hope about what's to come. It's just going to take some time. But more importantly, if this video happens to reach anybody else going through this who is really frustrated and feels like they're not making progress, because it is so slow moving, it is frustrating. 7 months after my operation was the first time that I could do this and close that eye. It's still not blinking with this one. It took 7-8 months of that, and I had to do it over and over and over again, which leads me to just wanting to say, if you're going through this or you're about to go through this, you're not alone. And don't base what's happening to you on what's happening to other people. Use other people's stories as information and help and motivation. But in the end, what I keep hearing from doctors is every single person is different. Depends on the size of it was, where it was, how big it was, did it damage anything. But don't give up. You gotta keep moving. It's I could see how it'd be really easy to just lay around and do nothing. But I think all the walking I did help me be able to walk a little bit straighter now. I'm better than after the operation. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I do think me being physically active has helped me. The same thing with movement here. I couldn't move my mouth here. I couldn't move my eye. I couldn't move any of that. It was just hanging right after my operation, but I kept messing with it, man. I kept making stupid faces in the mirror, hitting it with my fingers, moving it, all these things they should tell you if you get a physical therapist when you go through this. They tell you, like, tingle it, dip your fingers in ice, tap, 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 and then try to move it. But it's so slow moving. Like, I'm doing all of that stuff every day religiously for like 7 months to get just a little bit of movement. And now, again, I repeat, like a year and a half later, just now, in the last week, I've noticed some weird twitches in parts of my eye, which I can't really move yet. And I noticed a little dimple here that had disappeared. You know, all wrinkles and everything had disappeared because this was all just like blah. So I think stuff is still connecting there. I think it is. So yeah, that's about it. That's my stupid tumor story, and I hope it helps somebody, because I could have used one where somebody went through everything and they weren't freaking perfect at the end and healed. I hope to give some updates. In May is my next appointment. Maybe after that I'll make another video explaining what happened there, what they found out, why I'm still having horrible balance issues. Something myself I don't understand. When they found the tumor, they gave me cortisone. It took down the swelling and my vertigo almost disappeared. And then I got the operation and the tumor got removed and my balance is worse now. I don't understand this at all, and I really, really, really hope that I get some answers on it. And if it's fixable, I hope we can fix it. And if it isn't, I hope I have the strength to learn how to live with it and work with it. And that's what I'm doing. I find the best way to handle all of this is with a sense of humor. Laugh at yourself. Laugh at everything. There ain't nothing you can do about it but laugh sometimes. Oh, so that's about it. Thank you very much for watching my stupid tumor story, tolerating my stupid pronunciations, and not being so frightened by my stupid face. Take care of yourself.